one's better?
I believe that...
No, I've given you two options. Me telling you how to live our life, or the creator who created us telling us what's the best way.
You're like inputting your views on that question, because I don't resonate with either of your questions.
Okay. If there is a creator, originator, energy, self-aware,
once again, you're saying if, like, you're projecting your view on me to answer the question. Like, I don't believe there is. So how do I answer that question truthfully?
No. If you go in line with that, what makes rational sense? An energy. No, for you, not for me. I've already rationalized and I have my belief very deeply convinced. But for yourself, you believe in an energy. It's not that you don't believe in it. You believe there's an external energy which is doing things to us, brought you into existence maybe.
Yes, but I believe that energy is in me and I'm part of the energy. So.
But is this energy self-conscious or not? It was the question.
I think yes.
If it is and has a choice and will, then that self-aware, self-conscious entity, the energy.
I believe that's like the ego. Like that self-aware part is more like the ego. Like,
to make something, you need to assemble something in a particular order. You need to know.
I understand that, but I just don't believe there's someone
Are you saying our universe is assembled by something that is not even?
It's assembled by something that, yes, I believe, but I'm not really sure what, because I'm still on my journey on understanding my beliefs.
That's fine.
I just don't resonate with that it's someone up there.
But let's not call it someone. There's something which is the energy. There's something which is the energy that you already believe in. To assemble something, it requires a lot of knowledge and wisdom and will.
I agree.
So you are already personifying this energy. Yeah. You're saying this energy has willed through its knowledge and wisdom to assemble our universe as it is.
That's what I'm saying. I don't know.
But
I need to I don't know.
Fine. But I'm saying, in my view, if the universe is assembled, it makes sense to me. It's assembled by something like that, which has assembled.
Physics and science and
No, physics is what's been put in there within our universe. Physics itself is not the creator or originator of the reality. Physics is part of the reality, which is
created also like Jupiter.
The planet. Yes. God is the creator of everything. Yes. God is the creator of all things that you see and things that you don't see. He's the creator. That's why we call him the creator. But
why is he a he?
It's just a matter of language. I can call it creator without using any pronouns. Then I have to keep on saying creator. But in the Islamic tradition, he is used by God because it doesn't have any kind of connotations where he's like she's a female, because God is not a male or a female. But in Arabic language, the final revelation that came from God either has to use one of the two pronouns because they don't have the third pronoun.
Well, they just don't need a pronoun because you're saying he's not a human.
In language, we do need pronouns. We need pronouns.
Yes, but I mean, you can't say it's just a coincidence that it's he.
No, God describes that he's not a male or a female, man or a woman, totally unlike anything. Let me tell you how the Creator described itself. That God is.
That might be true, but it's not what is said.
No. See whether you understand and appreciate what the Quran says. It says, "Say God is one and only and unique, the absolute, the independent, the self-sufficient, the one who's besought of all. Everyone depends on this Creator, God, and He doesn't depend on anything. Not born, doesn't produce children, and there is nothing like unto this God." Does that resonate with you? Why not?
I got a bit lost in my thoughts, to be honest.
If we are here, there has to be something always, and that has to be the necessary being. Because there cannot be a point where there's absolute nothingness. Do you agree?
I just want to talk about, it's not so much that I like my description of God or not God. I just don't really like religion and how like there's rules. And,
We're not talking about any of that yet.
Yeah, but
We are on the foundational principles
the
of
first thing was like you can be a Muslim. So like
a Muslim is someone who submits them to the Creator. So it's all linked with the belief in a Creator or God. So when we talk us as something, we are something. Right? Do you accept energy is something? Matter is something?
And during that period,
having something now, can there be a time in the past where there was absolute nothingness.
The roof is basically a terrace.
Yes.
So they kept it up there.
What is absolute nothingness? It's non-existence. It's total absence of anything and everything.
Yeah. And then
So if there was absolutely nothing, how can it do something? How can it make something? How can it originate something while it's non-existence? Impossible.
he was like,
It doesn't make sense rationally. So if something exists now, something always has to exist. You can just go back. It always has to be something. There will be no nothingness. So something that is always in existence is called, this is the eternal existence. That eternal existence is not brought about by something else, because it is inherently self-subsisting and self-existing. Anything that exists by itself and yet demonstrate by producing creation like that shows that, okay, any properties that it has, inherently it has, is no limit and no restrictions, no deficiencies, because nothing is restricting it from doing anything, because it has energy, and this energy is not restricted or limited by anything. So in this way, this necessary being that everything depends on will be absolute in its attributes or characteristics or properties. And if that has or possesses energy, will be absolutely all-powerful. If it has knowledge, because the universe demonstrates the working of knowledge and wisdom, he will be all knowledgeable, or it will be all knowledgeable if you want to use this language. The creator, necessary being, will be all knowledgeable, all wise, all perfect, independent, self-sufficient, and absolute, and it will be one, because there will be no such two things can be in existence.
Honestly, you've lost me a bit because.
In where have
like
you?
The whole.
Now tell me which part you've lost. I can explain that a bit more,
I
perhaps.
just think it's like I'm losing my focus.
Fair enough. Think about it.
It's like a lot of like, even when I study like yoga and stuff, and I get a lot of lectures, and it's my own. I hear similar words to what you're saying, but it's a different viewpoint. It takes a while to comprehend all the
No problem, no problem. We all take our times to understand things. But you know, because I know you have a good memory, when I said things, you repeated and you understood. So give some reflection and some thoughts on what we said, and see if your heart and your mind resonates with what we said. If that is what makes sense, then consider looking more into Islam, which describes.
Why should I if I already have
Truth.
something?
Truth.
I have my own truth that I connect with, that I believe, like I resonate with.
Why are you created?
I'm not exactly sure, but
See, that's the issue. When we know truth, we would know the answer to these questions. Why am I here?
I can find the answers to those questions on my own path that I'm on.
But do you have the answer?
Not yet, but
Exactly.
I've only just begun my path,
Yes.
so I shouldn't have like
Sure.
the truth is a
Do you know how many people in the past have gone through the path of meditation and yoga? Hundreds and thousands.
like,
And guess what? What did they come to the conclusions?
what the
Differing conclusions.
like what?
Differing conclusions. Some of them believed in pantheism, some of them believed in panentheism, some of them believed in some kind of Advaita in terms of duality or individuality of the Godhead or whatever. So much differences. The truth cannot all be true. That's the reality. So that means someone's getting it wrong. So this kind of individual seeking of path is not an infallible way of knowing the truth. What we say is intellectual speculation has a limit. Has a limit.
Truth for me is a feeling, not an intellect.
Truth is independent of our feelings.
Well, no, it's like a presence. It's like a awareness that like you're just like you feel like it's a knowing, it's an intuition.
Yeah, but it's about knowing the reality. Having understood the reality, that's what the truth is. So when we say, for example, that tree exists, imagine you weren't here. The tree would still exist independent of you and your feeling. Truth, God's existence, the purpose that He has created, is independent of me thinking about it or not thinking about it, like an
I agree
atheist.
with that.
Yeah. So what we're saying is when the Creator tells us why He's created us, we know the truth.
I think like, why am I created? Like, I'm created, there's probably many reasons I'm created to do something in this world. There's a purpose to my creation.
Are you making up your own purpose, or
I feel
is this
like-
what the Creator tells you?
Well, no, because like I think you've got received downloads on like what I am called to do. Like I have callings. Like I want to do this thing. Like I'm not like I want to be this person and stuff. I just follow my heart, my intuition, and do things that bring me joy and happiness.
I understand.
And so that to me is like my purpose, my truth. Is just like being in touch with myself, doing what brings me joy and happiness, being compassionate, having good values.
But what I'm saying is, I understand what you're saying. It's a good intention is clearly there, but the slight problem is this, as I explained before, people who have gone along this path, like the philosophers in Hinduism, when they wrote all the Upanishads, right? Many Upanishads, right? And how the Gita reconciled it, the Buddhist Palnik text, many texts you have from the Eastern side, in philosophical texts, they disagreed in terms of what exactly is the real truth. I talked about pantheism, panentheism, perennialism. I talked about some kind of deistic understanding of God, an atheistic understanding of God, or there is monotheistic understanding of God, monads, monism, so many different types. They all cannot be true, even though they went along their path of meditation and self-discovery. The only infallible way, in my understanding, is when the Creator tells us, that becomes the absolute truth, infallible truth, why we are here. And this is what I am
and that to me
asking
is
you.
like a download. I'm like a
Yeah,
I'm
not individually.
Why isn't we a society, or why am I here?
But individually, we can think and speculate. But I'm saying
Because
there
we
are
as a
there
collective of the human species,
there are
who's we?
there's a way our Creator has communicated to us about the reasons and the purpose of why you were created. We call them prophets and messengers. They are established through proof and evidence.
I have a question. Who is we? Why are we
Human
here?
beings.
Human beings, okay. And does he have a prophet for like the birds and the trees and the dolphins and everything?
They are
as well?
created with instincts. Human beings are separated from all the other creations with a specific distinction. Do you know the distinction between every other
Well, there's
creation?
consciousness in human beings and there's not in many animals.
Which other animals have gone to space and built in tall skyscrapers?
But there's like
Eh?
that creates some
By
like-
themselves or someone took it?
No, went to
Yeah,
Russian dog.
by themselves or someone took them? Not themselves.
some
They didn't
that
invent the
creates,
spaceship.
like, that
A
creates
dog did not invent a
hierarchy.
spaceship, by the way.
That creates like that humans are better than
No, better. It differentiates the human species from all the other species because of certain characteristics the humans have.
and what God made humans special or something.
I mean, it's obvious, isn't it?
Well,
We are special
I
creation.
believe that, like,
We're not
when
putting
you-
down other
when you think
creation.
about an octopus that fucking can do all this
Just
crazy
mind
ass
our
fucking
language
shit.
anyway. No.
Like, I can do whatever I want, right?
Children may be watching, right?
Oh, well,
That's why.
Well, I didn't ask to be filmed. So, firstly,
I didn't ask to be filmed either. Did I ask you to be filmed? People are filming. Speakers Corner.
Yeah.
People all learn from us,
Yeah,
and we learn from
so-
each other.
Yeah, freedom of speech, basically. I was told that I could say anything on this corner. Octopuses do crazy stuff that is a lot more unique and special in many other ways than us. I think there's a very high intelligence of an octopus, like versus a human. Like we're all just equal, in my view.
But they still follow instinct.
Who?
Octopus. They still follow.
Do they have cognition like us? Cognitive
Maybe
abilities
not, but
like us?
Maybe, but why is cognition better?
It's
than-
important
but-
because
of
when we
course,
look at
but
the
I'm
differences
saying,
between
like, I just
cognitive
believe we're
abilities,
equal.
when we talk about cognitive look, we can differentiate between species based on several things. For example, when we look at cognitive abilities,
Yeah.
a parrot, for example, can imitate sounds, but does it have the cognitive ability to understand language?
Maybe not, but
It's not maybe not. It's clearly not.
Well, no, it doesn't.
Sorry?
But
Maybe
like,
not your language.
I'm saying
but
other
you can't-
language.
But we
Can
can't.
you understand a
Yeah, we
bird?
can't understand a
You
parrot.
understand about it.
If you studied enough, you might perhaps pick up certain sounds and what they talk about. Yes, we can.
They're
I
not
disagree. You're then using your instincts.
No,
and
no, no, no.
Speculation.
No instinct. When we talk about, look, there are many people, when they connect with their pets, whether it's a cat or a dog, certain sounds they make, they can see what the sound is about. Whether it's about moaning and groaning
like
and
a baby,
pleasure
of
and
course.
comfort. Yes, because they pick up those cues in the language.
But you don't think like a dog that understands, oh, Charlie, okay, that means this.
Look,
like we all kind
we're
of...
talking about languages. The dogs don't have languages, do they?
Yeah, but my point,
Do dogs have languages? do have languages. I'm not asking you that question.
You have a
Look.
way about.
Creatures and animals can communicate. We have to respect.
I asked you a simple question.
Sorry.
Do dogs have language?
They can communicate.
Okay, you're not answering the question.
But you have
That's
a-
why,
you have a
as you
very-
know, like the other gentleman, as you realize, sorry, just 1 second, sorry, I apologize. Earlier on, I left a conversation, do you know why? Because I don't speak to people who don't answer the question directly. Okay, so I'm not interested in speaking to you. Thank you very much. Anyway, sorry.
No, it's okay.
Excuse me. Leave your hands to yourself, right?
No,
Anyway,
I'm fine.
it's
I
a
think
pleasure speaking to you.
Thank you. What's your name?
My name is Mansur. What's yours?
Mansur.
Mansur.
Mansur. I'm
Yeah.
Jess.
Jess,
Nice to meet
pleasure
you.
speaking to you. Just think about what I said. If it makes sense, explore further about Islam and speak to our sisters there who can connect with you better perhaps, because they can give you a
yeah.
perspective, something that I maybe not be able to give.
To be honest, I'm pretty happy with my stuff, but I appreciate the words.
There's always
Can I
better
just- can I
room
give you
for
some
improvement,
feedback?
right?
Can I give you some feedback?
Of course.
When you ask questions, there's a lot of like bias and opinion in like you're projecting your views in your question.
Is that wrong? Is anything wrong about it?
No, but like.
What's wrong about it?
It's a bit uncomfortable when having a conversation. The way you ask me questions, it's like kind of pushing me down a route, and then like it would maybe the way you ask questions is like a little.
Do you want me
like,
to? So would you prefer rephrasing the same question a different way?
Yeah, it's maybe like
Fine.
a tone.
Tone. I accept.
Tone.
I accept.
Questions are
I
helpful.
thank you for your feedback.
Because it's just like
It's
like,
a welcome.
I
It's
just
a
like
welcoming
feel
feedback.
like-
It's
Yeah,
really
no,
appreciate
sorry,
it.
I don't mean it from a.
No, I
place.
really appreciate it. Sometimes our tone can be because just before I spoke to you, this is perhaps a leftover effect. I spoke to someone. I even said I cannot speak to a clown. So you can see how we can personally get affected by conversation we're having, and it could be because of that conversation you felt the tone perpetuated.
through.
Yes, but I appreciate your feedback. Thank you.
Mansur.
Take care.
Thank you.